Hello, my friends. It's Andy coming to you live from California for the Andy Falco Show. I'm glad to see that you're with me this evening. I got a few people joining right now, and I appreciate that very much. I would appreciate it if you would share, subscribe, comment, and like. All those things will help get this out because apparently my show is being throttled. A great deal. I went from 15,000 views just last week. I mentioned this before, down to something like 200 views. And even some of my posts, which would normally get a ton of comments, I've asked people, well, I haven't seen you post lately. How come you're not posting anymore? And so there's something really odd. It's not odd. That's the wrong language. It's like being shocked about something that the Democrats do, or shocked that something that the media says. It's not shocking anymore. None of it is shocking anymore. It is all it's just normal. And I know that the title, again, I may get somebody that comes on, and I would appreciate again that you comment and say hi, tell me where you're watching from. Speak out to whatever it is that you want, positive or negative. I enjoy the negative ones, by the way. I'm so happy when somebody comes on and calls me an a-hole, or calls something that I'm saying into question. That's when it makes my day. So, but I would also like the positive. The positive ones are good too. And so let me go ahead and talk about a couple of the sponsors. Going to be talking about the fact that there's only two choices as we move forward. It's either you're for America or you're against America. And again, that may seem like clickbait. It's not clickbait. It is the truth. As we move forward, it is just factual as we enter each day, because there's something every day that's making that fact more clear, that you're either for America or against America. And I'm going to go into greater detail and share some of my thoughts and the reasons why I think that. I'd be shocked if those of you that are Americans don't see it any other way. It'd be very shocking for that. But let me talk about a couple of sponsors here really quick. First, got a new sponsor. And that's because it's a new program I just put out. It's about how to do live streaming, create your own show. If you're an authority or an expert, an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to do that. I have a program now that will teach you how to do that. Just go to joinmelive.live. Joinmelive.live. Go there. You'll see the program. It's called Live Streaming with StreamYard 2.0. And it will show you how to get started doing live streaming. The first phase of this, there's going to be three phases. The first phase is this one. It's only $4.99. I couldn't make it any cheaper unless I'm giving away for free and then not making, and then it's costing me money. But $4.99 to join that program. Joinmelive.live. Joinmelive.live. Go to that URL and watch the video and then sign up. You don't have to watch the video. You can if you want to, but it'll tell you a little bit more about the program, and then sign up for $4.99. What I'm using right now is something called StreamYard. And to get StreamYard, you just go to getstreamyard.live. Getstreamyard.live. I am also taking this great new product. All you need to do is go to todayshappycoffee.com. You go there. It is there's coffee. There's something called Zest. It all works on your energy and your mood. It's fantastic. The products are all fantastic. Go to todayshappycoffee.com. You'll learn more about it. It's fantastic. If you're not taking it, you're missing out. And everything's guaranteed. If you don't like it, send it back, and they'll give you your money back. Not a big deal. CBD one, I taught you guys know my story. If you've been around for a while, or if you're joining me now, I'll share it in a future show. But CBD has changed my life, at least as far as I'm concerned. Now, I can't make any claims. I can't tell you that it's cured anything. I can only tell you, since the day I started taking CBD, which is now about 2 years ago, the pain, the discomfort, the PTSD, the anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff has seemed to diminish coincidentally at the moment I started using CBD and taking it on a regular basis, and then a bunch of other wellness products over at Viseo. Now, the CBD and the Viseo wellness products are all from the same company called Viseo, which is one of the top 50 healthcare companies in the world. So go to any one of those sites and everything will be fantastic. All right, you guys. And so let's talk about why I'm making these claims. Now, the other day, and I'll share the post in just a few minutes, but I'm going to go to one other video first. But I put a post up about AOC and her squad having influence on Joe Biden. And there was a comment after I did that from one of my friends, actually a friend that I went to high school with, who said that, oh, first of all, he didn't say that. Second of all, if you think that they're part of the team, they're not. And a whole bunch of stuff. And I go, I'm not sure if you've been paying attention, but they are pulling the strings of Biden, which is also known as a puppet. Biden is not well. He is not healthy. Everybody knows. The Democrats know. Most of what's happening to us today in regard to the pandemic, the riots, the calls of racism against everybody that's not, part of Black Lives Matter, I guess. I'm trying to figure it out because they're calling black people racist. They're calling Mexicans racist. So I'm not sure what you call that group, right? The only thing you call them is Democrats. I mean, the Democrats are calling everybody racist, no matter what color you are, no matter what it is you say, no matter what it is you do, no matter when you did it, right? And I'm going to get to this too, but if you had a relationship 10 years ago or today or whatever, and that person you have a relationship said something positive about conservatives or was a Republican, you now are a racist and you've been canceled. And I will give you proof of that later on. But it is so very clear that we have two factions. We have Americans, right, who love America. Not all of them love God, but a large number of them love God. And it's okay that you don't. You can still be American and not love God. You can still be American and still love the police and maybe want some changes made. You can still be American and still not like some of the statues, but you'll go through a process of having those removed, not pulling them down. You can still be American and believe all those things and still want some of those changes. But we all know as Americans that we have a system where we contact leadership that we voted for and say, listen, I'm getting really offended as I walk past this statue on a day-to-day basis because my family 200 years ago, 100 years ago, whatever it was tortured or whatever, right? Was a slave, whatever it is. And it really makes me uncomfortable. I know some friends of mine that have the same feeling. Can we consider having this removed? And, we'll write a bill and we'll do whatever it takes. And there's that process, right? Then you write a bill or whatever it is. And then you start the process. That's what our country's all about. That's what makes our country great, is that ability to do that. But just randomly pulling it down and tearing it down and saying now anybody that doesn't help me pull it down is racist is ridiculous, right? So that group is entirely different than what Americans are. Americans understand the process, regardless of whether you believe in God or not, regardless of how you feel about police, regardless of how you feel about the guy in the White House. You can be a Democrat and still be American, but understand that we need police, right? Not everybody's racist, and you can't pull down statues, and you can't deface private property, and you can't loot, and you can't catch police cars on fire using a Molotov cocktail, right? You can still be an American and yet a Democrat and believe in those things. That's what I'm talking about. Americans, Democrat, Independents, Green Party, whatever else there are, Republicans, that believe in America, believe that America is the greatest country on the planet. Still hundreds and thousands of people want to come to America, even when they're seeing our streets are on fire from morons that don't believe in America. Again, I'm going to encourage people, because I see a large number of people on different things that comment and tell me and say hi. I'm going to get to the part of why some people don't say hi. All right. Why they don't say anything in the comments, because they're fearful. But we're gonna get to that point at some point, hopefully, if I don't forget. But this is really my point. And so I'm going to play something with Joe Biden that really kind of addresses the fact that when I put this post up and said that, AOC and her three amigos are, completely want to dismantle law enforcement, and that we are in trouble as a country if Biden gets into the presidency, because with him come those four, and with him come them pulling his strings and telling him what to say and telling him what to do and what him to vote for. And there's no doubt in my mind, there shouldn't be any doubt in your mind that that's what's going to happen. Now, of course, the comment was that, oh no, he already said that he doesn't want to defund cops. Oh, really? And in my comment, I said, don't worry, he will. At some point, AOC will get a hold of him and say, listen, you got to be for defunding the cops. You have to be for dismantling the cops. You have to be for all this kind of stuff. And of course, the comment was that that's not going to happen, because she's not part of the team. She is part of the team. she's and she's one of the people in charge of his push to be president. She's part of the team. She is part of the team. And the other three come with her because they have a nickname. What's the nickname? They're called the Squad, AOC plus 3, all these names. That means that she comes with them. And with her being a part of Biden's team, because she is, that announcement was made, and she very clearly is. And then I would say that at some point, they're going to make this commitment. Well, it didn't take long. Is my point for doing this show. It didn't take long. It was only a day after I said, don't worry, that she will probably after he gets elected. It just happened sooner than I thought. And so I'm going to go ahead and play the video where this happens. And I'm going to comment a little bit about the other stuff that he says, which is totally ridiculous. So let me go ahead and bring this up to here. I'm going to make it up. Let me get rid of the lower third. So that's not blocking. All right. So let's hear what he has to say. This is a very short clip. It's only 21 seconds long, so nobody panic. Let's make it much bigger. There we go. All right. So listen to what he has to say here.
Surplus military equipment for law enforcement. They don't need that.
Hold on, I gotta close that out. This is the problem that I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, more than that, maybe the last 3 weeks that I've been doing these shows, and that is you have people in position. Not only him. I mean, he has an excuse. He's got a mental default. All right, defection. Sorry, with his dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever it is. But he's always been stupid. He's never been successful at anything in regard to, even though he's been in power, he's been a politician for somehow 50 years, 30 years, whatever it's been. His brain was damaged then, and now it's even worse. But what's this presidency that's in the White House currently has exposed how many stupid people we put into power because they're commenting about something they know nothing about. So here he is spouting off about the Humvees that, some of us, and I was a cop in Anaheim for 21 years. And you got LA County. We have vehicles that are used to take down very dangerous suspects. And what would you rather have them do? What would you have us do? When I was on the SWAT team and going after some guys that were involved in active shooting, we call them active shooters, of course, that are shooting actively in an apartment, in a building. That happens constantly. It's not something that happens like once a year. It happens often. And so what he's trying to say is that we somehow use those every day. Like we get a call of a domestic violence and we drive up in a Humvee with M16s and kick open the door and say, why are you fighting with your wife? That never happens. It only happens when the husband becomes more dangerous, where now it goes from domestic violence to a danger to the rest of the people that live in that community, because now he's pulled out an M16, a handgun, and began shooting everything up. And now he's an active shooter. So it goes from domestic violence, where we would not send that military vehicle and all of our tools and well-armed SWAT team, to somebody who's now a barricaded suspect or an active shooter. There is a transition. What he apparently is trying to say is that we now that suddenly we become a military organization. No, we have in our arsenal some military tools that when we need them, we can access them and use them when there's an active shooter. If we did, what we would do is go back to prior to when I was a police officer and they were having to handle things with what we had, right? Drive our Chevy up to the curb, or down the street, and then walk up and then hope that we didn't die because the guy was more well armed than we were. If we go back all the way to the Hollywood shooting, if anybody remembers, that's old enough to remember, there was this thing called the Hollywood shooting where these two well armed suspects just were dressed with bullet resistant clothing and vests and helmets, had high powered rifles, and we're robbing a bank, and in the middle of it, they got stopped. They got discovered. The cops surrounded them very quickly, and now it turned into a huge shit. The police were outgunned. Right? They didn't have the weapons. They didn't have the vehicles. They tried to get SWAT there, but SWAT couldn't get there fast enough. So you had a number of officers that were just responding in what they had. Right? Our normal uniform, a gun belt, and a Chevy vehicle, which is not impervious to rounds from an M16. And so they're down behind their cars, they're getting shot at. These guys were walking down the street, shooting at cops. So what he's trying, this idiot is trying to say is that, no, we need to get rid of all the stuff that keeps officers safe and the community safe, by the way. Like the community was entirely in danger because these guys were randomly shooting outside this bank into the community, these rounds that were flying, right? They were shooting indiscriminately. They were not hitting their target entirely. And so the longer they were able to do that, who was in danger besides the cops? The citizens in the area. The faster you can get there with armament that can surpass what it is that is being shot at us is the only way we can win and get rid of it and stop it before it kills more people than possibly it already has. And so now what they're trying to say, not only dimwit Biden, but the AOC and her 4 nimwits, is that, we don't need any of that stuff. So everything that we did to build up a strong police department to keep citizens safe, that actually reduced crime over the last 10 years in New York too, last 30 years, you had Giuliani, Mayor Giuliani came in there and reduced crime to a place where it had never, ever been before. New York, if you can believe this, went from one of the most dangerous cities in America to one of the safest cities in America to now one of the most dangerous cities in America. What are the common denominators between when it was the most dangerous and when it's the most dangerous again? What's the common denominator? Democratic run. Democratic run, reducing law enforcement, reducing their budgets, reducing their equipment. And then what's the common denominator between the safest city and other safe cities in the United States of America? Republican run, where they fund law enforcement, where they give them the tools that they need, where they give them the training that they need, and they support them. And when they need something, they're there for them and making sure that they are equipped to keep the community safe while also keeping them safe. Those things all go together always. When did New York's crime go up recently? When did it spike up 300 times? When they dismantled, just recently in the last couple of weeks, when they dismantled the undercover unit that was used to go after armed and dangerous suspects. 600 officers. When did the crime go up? When they stopped that unit, right? They took all 600 of those undercover officers and now they put them back on beats. They did a bunch of other stuff. Many of them are retiring, and now the crime goes up, right? Is there no common sense? Is the stupidity that bad in this city that they blame Donald Trump, they blame all these other people, they blame all the Republicans, and none of them are in New York right now. The only ones that are in New York doing this is the mayor and the governor. Cuomo is another moron, right? They're the ones that are making those decisions. Donald Trump didn't say, hey, take those undercover officers and remove them and put them back on the street, have half of them retire, whatever it was. It wasn't his decision. It was the mayor's decision. He's also not the one out in front writing Black Lives Matter on the street of an organization that is a Marxist organization, communist organization that wants to do nothing except for dismantle law enforcement and dismantle the nuclear family. Those two things happen to be the two that stick out to me because those are the two most important things that makes America great. When you have law enforcement that's strong and well-equipped, and in the numbers that matches whatever the crime level is in those cities, when you have that and you have programs for families to keep families together, keep families strong, you will have less crime. Every study says so. Although I just heard that a professor was fired for the study that I read in the Wall Street Journal a couple weeks ago that showed that systemic racism in law enforcement is a lie, right? The person who authored that study has now been fired because you can't do that. You can't say through a study, a scientific study and research that was approved by the university and other universities and peers that said, wow, you did everything correctly, and so we'll sign off and make it a valid study. Even though you had all those people look at it and say that it's valid, now she got fired because she wrote that systemic racism doesn't exist. That just happened. I just saw that just today. I'm not sure when it happened, but I just saw it today. So here you got Biden. So that's what he says. But then also, like I said the day before, just 2 days ago, when I said, hey, he's going to defund cops, and my friend said, here, let me take a look and let me just read what it actually says. It says, Hold on. The comment was, hold on. Got to find the comment. Hold on. First, the fact Biden has already denounced the notion of defunding police. Second, these team members are not, they are, oh man, are not. They are a small faction in Congress. Third, Biden has a long history of pragmatism and moderation. Well, he has lost. All three of those are gone. He has said that he's going to denounce, he is going to defund. He never denounced, by the way, but he said he is going to denounce. That is his team, and he's lost. That he's no longer a moderate. He's just no longer a moderate. It's not true. Sorry, this is my doorbell is ringing right now. I have no idea. It'll probably ring again, so I apologize. It'll get rung 4 or 5 times before they realize I'm not coming up. All right, so he's no longer moderate. So none of those things are true. And this is coming from an educated person that I know to be very educated. This comes from a person that I know to be, just to be smart and educated. I don't know how else to put it. And it's odd to me. It really is odd to me. There are so many smart, seemingly smart people that I used to think were smart. People I used to think that were, hey, Carol, saying hi to Phyllis, that have lost their way, have lost their mind. And that comment actually goes much longer. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm actually going to comment on it and kind of where it went and why I decided to go with the show today. Is that when I read comments like that, like I don't cancel anybody. I don't. And again, that's part of being American, right? Americans aren't cancelers, right? The NFL I'm no longer going to watch, but I'm not telling anybody else to boycott it. I'm just telling you that it's going to be my choice to no longer watch. I didn't watch for a while, and then just last year I started watching again. I kind of like, okay, let's kind of ease back into it. Let's see how long they can keep things, together. And bam, now they're back to being idiots again. With the anyway, you know the story. I mentioned it the other day. And the same thing with basketball. I've stopped watching basketball when Magic Johnson was playing because of much of the same rhetoric and stupidity that being for China and this country that still tortures people, still arrests people for having an opinion. The NBA's for China, but against the United States of America. America is racist according to the NBA, but China is fantastic, right? What? NBA is gone too. But for me, again, now back to the canceling part. I'm not going to cancel anybody. I'm not going to cancel NBA. I'm not calling for it. You can watch it if you want to. That's your decision. Same thing with the NFL. And whatever else teams out, even NASCAR. I just went to a NASCAR race just before the pandemic, and now I'll probably never go to a NASCAR race again because we got a bunch of people in there that have no clue what it is they're saying or doing. They're supporting an organization that's communist, Marxist, calling for the end of law enforcement, calling for the end of the nuclear family. You're going to put that name on a NASCAR. You're going to put that on a uniform. You're going to put that on your advertisement, possibly somewhere on the grass or somewhere on the side of the arena. That's your choice. Is that you're going to put that and you're going to call America racist. All of you in the NBA, NFL, who are some of the richest people on earth, some of the richest people in the United States, are against the United States? How does that work? And you're for China? and you call Donald Trump a xenophobe and a racist because he shut down people coming in from China and then say he did nothing? I mean, this really is a world mixed of Americans and a large number of very stupid people, and I'm really not sure how to what to call it, because that really is a very strange place to be for me. Because I'm finding that I have people that I'm friends with that I thought were fairly intelligent who are a little bit more dumb than I thought, because they are either really dumb or just for whatever reason ignoring it. Because then they make comments. And let me go ahead and put this back up so people know who to yell at and call names. Is that then the comment can continue? Well, you're obviously a Trump guy, and I had to respond. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm an American guy. It just so happens that Trump is doing a great job, and he has been doing a great job. And I said, he's done one of the best jobs of any president that we've ever had before in 3 years, in almost 4 years, but I'm just like 3.5 years. And they go, how can you say that? Obviously, now you are a Trump guy because you said he's one of the best presidents. He is. You have a guy, right? You have a man. Let's just take him as a man, no longer Trump. Let's just take him as a man in the United States of America. If you look at all the people that you know and compare them to this man, not Donald Trump, a man, do you know anybody in your world, in your circle of friends, and outside your circle of friends, you know anybody that would take a job but not get paid for it and work 10-hour days? I've heard that he works up to 10-hour days, and I don't know how he does that. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He eats. We can see that, but he doesn't drink or smoke, and he doesn't get paid. Right? He doesn't need to. Obviously, he's rich, and so you say, "Well, he's rich. He doesn't." Okay, so listen, he's doing a job where he works 10 hours a day. All right, let's just do that. All right, do you know anybody that would do that right now in your circle? The answer is probably no. You may have a couple, and it may be you that you would work, but would you work? And I'm just saying, just work. I'm not even gotten to the important part yet. Would you just work for 10 hours a day for 4 years straight? And now if he gets reelected, 8 years straight. Even if you are rich, would you work that many hours for that long and not get paid? Just that. The answer is probably no. There's probably nobody that you would know, right? It helps when you're rich. It helps when you have companies that are making money when you're not there. I understand all that. I'm just telling you, do you know anybody that would do that? The answer is probably no. All right. So now let's add, this part that the entire 4 years or 8 years, that the entire time people do nothing. There's a large number of people that the entire time you're working these large amount of hours a day, literally 70 people say, "Oh, he golfs all the time." Shut up. You're being stupid. You don't take a vacation. Nobody here takes a vacation. He can't take a vacation. He can't go to the park and spend time with his kids. He can't do what? So stop with that. All right. So you work that long, that the entire time you're working, that people are saying that you're racist, that people are trying to, impeach you. What would be in your world? Sue you, right? That would be the equivalent. They're trying to fire you constantly. Every day you come to work, you have a large faction of people in your office that are constantly trying to fire you. That everything you say or do in a workday, let's just take an 8-hour workday, that everything that you say and do, half of the people in your office are saying you are a racist, yelling things as you're leaving. "Hey, racist. Hey, what have you done today? You've done nothing. You're lazy." That every time you walked into a room and had a meeting, there was half of the room said that you are stupid, you're a racist, you've done nothing, all you do is golf, you're an idiot, you're a moron, all the things that are said every day, right? Other half supported you, but the other half said that every day that you had that going on, and then you would go back and work your ass off to put together policies and things that benefit the company. And not only that, benefit the people that are calling you racist. The same people that are calling racist got a check for how much money just not too long ago for free for doing nothing. They don't have to pay taxes on it. They may have to pay sales tax when they use it, but they don't. The guy that you just called a racist, a xenophobe, stupid, a moron, does nothing, gave you a check for a few $1,000s. If you have kids, I got $3,200. I was slated to. I have not got anything, by the way, but let's just say that you were to get that stuff. And yet he's done more for this country than, let's say he's done more for this country than half the presidents. Let's say that he's done more for this country than 2 of the presidents. I don't care. It is an amazing thing to know of a man, not Donald Trump, this person somehow that you hate. And I'm going to get to that part in just one second. But a guy has done this much with that much hatred happening around him constantly, and yet he wakes up every morning, goes to work, and how else can I save lives? How else can I put in programs that will benefit our country? How else can I put in programs that will help our economy? How else can I get our troops home from being overseas, helping other countries that don't want to take care of us or pay us or support us or do anything for us? But yet when something happens in those countries, we send as many people over as possible to save their lives. right? Do you know anybody that would do that? The answer is probably no, right? And so now I just want to go, and it was a really long answer, right? There was a really long answer or a really long statement of why I can say you have this guy that I can support regardless of who he is. Because I'm an American, I see a guy in the office who is doing more with less support than any other president that we've ever had. Less support from Congress, less support from the Senate, less support from the media, less support from his own administration who has spied on him. And yet it's still continued. Anybody else would have folded by now and said, I'm doing it another 4 years. Are you crazy? I'm not doing this for another 4 years. You got a guy in there that kind of like gets fueled from all this stuff. The Supreme Court doesn't even support him, right? There's nothing. And yet I put the list of his accomplishments over the 3.5 years. And it is there's so many that I had to put it in 5 separate posts because Facebook won't allow a certain amount of characters in a comment. So it had to be 5 separate comments because it only allows something like for 8,000 characters. So it was limited by 5,000 characters. So it's maddening that I have to address that question, right? And then I have to be called what would I be considered? And I think that people, when they say you're a Trump guy, they're using it almost like you're racist, right? You're a Trump guy, which means you're bad, which means you're evil, which means you're nasty, which means that you're evil, that you hate everybody, that you want people to die, right? So when somebody calls you a Trump guy, they're calling you a name as opposed to American. And I'm trying to tell him that I know I'm American. I'm rooting for a guy who is an American who's doing as much as he possibly can for America. If you listen to his speech on the 4th of July, 3rd of July, for 4th of July, it was the best speech I ever heard. And oh, wow, that's because no, if you really listen to it as an American, not as a lunatic, then you would understand that that was one of the best speeches that you could have ever heard from an American. If Reagan would have said it, if Obama would have said it, if Clinton, oh geez, what is that? Both of them, it doesn't really matter. If any of the Bushes would have said it, it would have been a really good. They either would have loved it, it would have been fantastic, or it would have been very, very good, right? But because Trump said it, it was a racist speech. There was nothing racist about that speech whatsoever. Not a darn thing. I've listened to it twice and read most of it, and there is nothing racist in that speech. And so we really got to get a handle on this as Americans. And so they end with that Post story, and because I want to move on to something else really quickly, but to end on that Post story is that in the end, the person who wrote that comment is, well, then we're just going to have to disagree, and I'm not voting for him. I'm not voting for Biden. And that was before I was proven right, right. He was still going to vote for Biden because he thought that he was not going to defund the cops. He's now said that he will. He hates the police. He says that they're dangerous. What is the headline on that particular? Oh man, I pulled it down. I pulled it down to make room on my tabs, but he said something that the cops are the most dangerous thing in our world, something along those lines. It was just it was a stupid statement. Here, I'll find it really quick because it's important to hear those words or to see those words. He said, Joe steps in it again while trashing police. They become the enemy. That's what he said. So he's saying the police has become the enemy. Since when? Since when has the police become the enemy? And so with that statement, in my friend's comment, is that you're going to vote for a guy who says the police are the enemy. He's now said that he will defund police throughout the United States, that he's going to raise taxes, that he's going to open the borders, that he's going to support sanctuary cities. And I can go on, right? At this time, when you see what's going on in the Democratic communities that are on fire right now, that people are dying at a higher rate than they've died in several decades, do you think voting for a guy that's going to do all those things is going to benefit the United States? in any way? What is the reason? What is the purpose for voting for somebody that I don't understand, other than your hatred for the United States? And so I come back to the title of my post here, of my Facebook Live, YouTube Live, whatever it is you're watching on, Twitter Live, is that you are either currently for America or against America. If you vote for Biden, then you have to be against America, because higher taxes at a time when there's more crime in all the Democratic run cities. Do you think he's going to come in and change anything in those Democrat cities? do you think the failed programs and policies that they've already put into those cities that are failing the Black communities and making them poorer, making them more dependent on the government, do you think they're going to change those things or increase those things? The answer is they're going to increase. They've already said they're going to increase those things. They're going to take from the cops and they're going to put more money in their failed policies. The policies that have already failed. De Blasio and his wife were given millions of dollars to put into social work in the city of New York, and they don't know where the money went. They can only trace down like 50 women who are going through postpartum depression who got some type of psychiatric help. That's the only thing I've been able to find from the articles and research that I've done. There may have been more that they found lately, but that's it. Millions of dollars. Not hundreds of dollars, not millions of dollars for 50, count them, I was going to make a zero, 50 women that had postpartum depression. It cost millions of our dollars, whoever's dollars, people who live in New York's dollars, for 50 women to get help for postpartum. How did that help inner city communities? How did that help education? How did that help fatherless children who are 70% more likely to fail high school and end up in prison? How is that going to help them? You're gonna throw more money into those programs. You're gonna give De Blasio and his wife more money to do what with? You're gonna give Lightfoot more money to do what? She's already closed down 12 psychiatric facilities in the city of Chicago, and they've released hundreds of inmates into the city of Chicago. So explain to me what you're going to do with the money that you're taking from law enforcement and going to be putting into more releasing of criminals and not opening up mental facilities that some of these people need to be able to go to help them with their mental problems that they're having. That's not going to go into their educational programs, because they've been given money for their educational programs, but yet nothing's improved. So I'm really trying to figure this out. What is it that you think that you're voting for when you vote for Biden? It doesn't make any sense. You want more violence. You want more people killed. You want more Black Lives Matter written on streets in front of wherever, right? I'm just at a loss. So it just becomes clear every day, right? It becomes clear every day that you're either voting for America or you're voting against America on every aspect. There is no answer for this. No other answer for this. If I were to share this stuff here, where'd it go? Oh, I got to make sure I get the right one. Here we go. And you can see the impact on the rhetoric of defunding, of the hatred of law enforcement, of everything that's going on in regard to demoralizing law enforcement and police departments. What are you going to do with this? The NYPD had to limit retirements applications amid 400% surge just this week. This is July 8th, 2020 at 6:05 p.m. Applications for retirement have gone up by 400%, and they had to put limitations to try to keep people from retiring too quickly. That means there's going to be more. So right now it's at 400%. It's going to increase. What is New York going to do with no law enforcement at some point, if it keeps going the way? De Blasio is out there painting Black Lives Matter on the street, right? Nancy Pelosi is doing investigations into the president's tax. I could care less. Who cares about it? I don't care. I don't care who he paid off. I don't care. I would say that he would be stupid if he didn't have money that he was putting in these other locations, so he didn't have his pay. Who doesn't? Who's stupid enough not to do that? Like, I would say, well, Trump is dumb because he has this money that he's not using some of the loopholes that we have in our tax code to save money on taxes, right? Who wouldn't do that? That would be dumb. right? I don't care. She cares more about that though than de Blasio, spending time painting, finger painting on the streets in front of Trump Tower, right? That is fantastic. Oh, yeah, he's fantastic. What a great guy, right? She's Lightfoot. Whoa, what a great mayor. The 200 something shootings and a 4-year-old who was shot in the face. We had another 20-month-old, shot in the back. That's all good. But what about his taxes? These taxes, we need to know about these taxes. What about the homeless people shitting on the streets in San Francisco? No, we need to know more about his taxes. But Nancy, San Francisco's in your area. I don't care about people pissing and shitting in the streets of San Francisco. I care more about the president's taxes. I care nothing about any of that. It is really Schumer and all these other dimwits. You got Adam Schiff. No, we're going to impeach him again. We're going to impeach all these other people. That's way more important than people dying in our streets, in our cities that we run as Democrats. The people that we have in our party that are running these cities that are killing people, we care nothing about that. We care more about these taxes. We care more about what's happening in the Ukraine. We care more about some BS crap that that there was some intelligence that he didn't hear. Well, he didn't need to hear it because it wasn't where it should be as far as information. It happens all the time. I explained all that. I explained that in law enforcement. It happens. You think the chief of police hears everything that happens in the city of Anaheim? LAPD, LASO, the sheriff, do you think he hears everything that happens, every crime that happens? No, there's some things that are really important for him to know, and it comes after it's been vetted, it's been shown to be valid information, and then it goes, then he reads it and say, oh, well, we probably should do something. We should do some type of press release. We should do something else. Right? We should take action. But they don't take everything up to the chief of police. Well, yeah, he's the president. He's in charge. Listen, the president, and I know the people hate, especially the Democrats, the liberals hate this, but he's essentially in charge of the world. I know that sounds really bad, but the president of the United States, as much as people hate to see it, even my friends that are probably from other countries that are watching this, essentially is in charge of the rest of the world. If not for the United States, during a hurricane, during a typhoon, during a flood, during a fire, there would be more deaths without the United States of America. Without our army protecting some of the borders that we protected for many years, there would be a large amount of problems in many of these other countries. Without our money supporting some of these other programs in other countries, they would be faltering. They would be hurting. People would be starving. But yet we go in there and help all the time. If not just the government, but our churches. I know my church donates thousands and thousands of dollars into India. Builds schools in India from the United States. The United States does that. Churches in the United States. I know other churches that build churches in Haiti, right? In South America, in Asian communities. Us in America do that. We are one of the most giving countries in the world. Without our economy, without our people being safe, many other countries and people will suffer. The president of the United States is the most powerful person in the world, regardless of how you want to take that. It's the craziest thing that you would not support him in any way that you can. And then you vote for the next guy. Then you support him. Then you vote for the next guy. Then you support him. Not at every second try to tear him down. I love a lot of New York and Massachusetts police officers are applying for jobs in my area. Don't blame them. Yeah, no kidding. Forget what that is. Is that South Carolina? North Carolina? I'm so sorry, Carol. Carol and I used to work together at Anaheim Police Department when we were kids. She hates it when I say that. Which was only like 10 years ago, by the way. All right. So does that make sense now as far as my title? My title is not clickbait. It is not hyperbolic. It is not. It is the truth. You're either for America or it's one or the other. Either if you vote for Trump, you're for America. If you vote for anybody else, I don't care if it's Kanye West or whatever it is, you're against America. There's no doubt in my mind. This is, again, I'm not being hyperbolic or crazy. I'm telling you, it is fact based on everything that I've told you so far, and that is just a pinch of what's going on in our country right now. Am I for every Republican? No, and that's what I told them too. I've not even voted for every Republican president. I didn't vote for Bush the second time because I thought he was a dimwit. But I never voted for Obama either because he definitely wasn't He was the most corrupt president we've ever had. But just because I'm American, I vote for the president I think that's going to do America the best job and support America and keep us running and keep us alive and keep America going as my children grow up and to become adults. I mentioned this several times, and it's important for you to know that because I have a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, that I want we got to keep America intact. So you got to vote for America on this election, not against it. It's so important. I'm going to get to a couple more things before. I've already been on for 45 minutes, 47, 50 minutes. Are you kidding me? What do you think of the couple charged with a hate crime for trying to cover up? Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting to next. Kind of, not particularly this story, but yeah, this kind of leads into that. Did hear the comments. Did you hear the comments from the street? Very scary. Yeah, by the way. Yeah. North Carolina. Okay, I knew it was one of those. And so yeah, right. It's okay. Don't stop people from pulling down statues of George Washington, Columbus, of the missionary here in California, of Gandhi. No, pull those down, catch them on fire, wrap the American flag around it, catch the American flag on fire, do all that. But you paint over, Black Lives Matter. You need to die. You need to, I guess, whatever it was they were saying. It was just like, what? No, let them do it too. They're doing the same thing you're doing. They're protesting, right? They believe in what they believe in. They're defacing something, which was the defacement itself, right? They're defacing the defacement to make a point. But yet they are horrible, racist, nasty, evil people, right? So as we move forward, and we'll get into a little bit more of this stuff, but we have to get a handle of some of these people. We got the cancel culture, what I want to talk about really quickly here. Amy, Pelosi flat out says she doesn't care about statues and that people should be able to tear them down. She's an idiot. That's, again, the exposure. Yeah, I don't know why it was so difficult. Just had a stroke. The exposure of the dimwits, and they really are the dumbest people that we have. Right? We've taken somehow we've taken dumb people because they could not do anything else. Right? Because these people have been in these positions for decades. Right? It's something like 120 years if you take Schumer and Pelosi and Biden and somebody else. I think there's somebody else thrown in there, and it's like something like 100. You take people that could not have obviously done anything else on this planet for work. They couldn't have been gardeners. They couldn't have worked at McDonald's or Burger King. They couldn't have done anything because now they're being exposed for how stupid they are. They don't understand our Constitution. Now you got this Tlaib chick coming in who wants to rip up the Constitution. Do you know? Anybody tell her, hey, when you took office and you swore to uphold the Constitution. You didn't swear to destroy the Constitution. Two very different things. When you put your hand, I don't know if she put it on a Bible, she put it on the Quran or whatever she put it on, I don't know. Whatever she did, when she swore in, right? When you swear, it doesn't matter who it is, you swear in, you're swearing in to uphold the American Constitution. Just today, she said she wanted to destroy and dismantle our system. What did you miss when you said you're swearing to uphold the Constitution? I don't know. And so we have this craziness of cancellation, of canceling people. And just lastly, just really quick, I want to throw in one more thing here, is that you got the crazies, right? You just got these crazies. And I think this is probably the best one I'm going to share right here. And that is this actress. And I really don't know who she is, but it doesn't matter. She's very beautiful. And she's on some show. I'm not sure what show she's on. But you got this actress. She's getting canceled over supposed Trump supporting boyfriend. Remember at the beginning of the show, I talked about this, is that this girl right here, an actress, she's in star of some show. Let's see what show she's on. 27-year-old is facing cancel cries online after social media users discovered she's possibly dating a Republican who supports President Trump. This comes amid her vocal support for several progressive causes such as Black Lives Matter and Pride. Oh, I get that. I forgot what Pride was. I'm going to get canceled. Oh, God. Oh, she plays a queer woman. Wow, really? Can you say that? She plays a queer woman on Killing Eve. So this is how crazy they are, is that you have this actress who plays a queer, right? Gay. Can you say queer? I didn't know you could say that, right? She plays a queer woman. They said in this article that she plays a queer woman. She said that she's for Black Lives Matter, so that makes her stupid because she doesn't understand what she's saying. She doesn't understand what they believe. Apparently, she never looked into it, obviously, and now she's getting a taste. And that's what I love, kind of that at least they're getting a taste of their own medicine. These actors and actresses and singers that they also call them elitists, that now they're beginning to get canceled themselves. You got Jimmy Kimmel, who wore a blackface. And I love Jimmy Kimmel when he used to be funny and used to do crazy stuff, but you don't ever see him doing that now, right? You don't see him doing the stuff that he did when he ran the Man Show, right? With Adam Carolla. Him and Adam Carolla did the Man Show with women jumping on trampolines and bathing suits. You don't see him doing that stuff anymore, right? And he was in a blackface. He has more than blackface. His entire body was covered in black paint, right? Suddenly, these people who are haters of Trump are now being canceled. It is pretty awesome. And the fact that now you got this actress, she can't even date people, but now she's dating a guy who had it turns out it was an Instagram where he had posted a couple supporting Instagram posts supporting the Republican Party and something positive probably about Donald Trump. And it wasn't like yesterday. It wasn't like, within the last couple. I think that it was something in the past. And somebody found it. So she, not him, she has to be canceled because she's dating somebody who is a Republican. This is why that you have to get involved. This is why you have to speak out. This is why I only have Carol and Amy probably talking, which I have way more people than that watching. That there are so many people that are watching now. Some people may be eating dinner or driving, that kind of stuff. So I understand that's okay. But I know because I've heard and people will tell you, they said I would comment because every time you say a comment, I want to comment, but I don't want anybody to see that I'm supporting you because I will get fired from my job. Or because I have a sensitive position in my business and I don't want it to affect my business, right? You have a whole bunch of people that know that crap like this is happening, that you can't even have a boyfriend who is a Republican because you will get canceled. Now, I challenge people to just, you know what? This is more important than some things. Now, I understand that you got to feed your family. I understand that. I totally understand. Please listen, that if you can, that some way, somehow, you got to start speaking out. It's being silent, which is going to kill us in the end. And I'm going to make this call every time I do the show that in the end, that one more person come out of the closet, whatever that means, right? Come out of the closet as a Republican supporter of America. It doesn't mean you're a Trump person. Doesn't mean you have to love him. Back to my friend who, and again, I'm going to end with back to what I started with. My friend who had the comments is that you can hate Trump. As a matter of fact, I asked him, so why do you hate him? Well, because he's destroying the country. Then I said, I want you, and he's not replied yet. I said, just share with me one or two things that he has done in the last 3.5 years that is destroying America. And have I heard anything? No, I've heard nothing. I've asked this question of probably, I don't want to go too high and make it sound like, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about probably 20 people, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe more. So I'm going to go low. I think it's more than 20, but I'm going to go low. That I've even attorneys that I've worked for, because they tell me, oh, Trump's an asshole and he's destroying this country. And I will always say, okay, what has he done? What is the thing that he's, well, he's a racist. Okay, what did he? And so that's always the road, right? That's always the road we go down, and it always ends the same with nothing. And so they say he's dangerous for America. Okay, what makes him so dangerous? Well, he's racist. Okay, what has he said or done that has convinced you that he's racist? Well, he's just done some things. He's done some things. Well, like what? Well, like the border. What is it about the border that makes him racist? What is it about it? Well, he doesn't like him. No, he didn't. He's never said that. Show me where he's said that he doesn't like immigrants or he doesn't support immigrants or he doesn't want immigrants in our country. Show me where he said that. Well, he says it all the time. No, he's never said that. He's against illegal immigrants, illegal people that are criminals coming into our country. Are you not, again, I know that you're, and sometimes I work for defense attorneys. Are you for criminals coming into our country? Oh, of course not. I don't want. Do you want a murder? So some guy murdered somebody either here in the United States and went back to Mexico and came back, or somebody that murdered somebody in Guatemala, El Salvador, Chile, Brazil. Would you want somebody that's murdered one or more people from those countries, fleeing those countries and coming into our country? Well, no. Okay, that's what he said. You're saying the same thing he's saying. That you don't want this person. Do you want this person moving next to you? Do you want this guy to work for you? This murderer that comes over? You're saying that you're okay with that? You're okay with a rapist from another country coming into our country and then moving next door? You are, well, they couldn't because I live in a multi-million, whatever, dude, right? The millionaires defund the cops. I have my own private security. We don't need cops. Yeah, but you have your own private security. What about the people that don't have private security, right? Same thing with people coming. Well, they're going to move into these shitty neighborhoods. Why do I worry about a rapist or murderer moving into South Central LA? I could care less because I live in, Orange County, or I live in South Carolina, whatever, right? They don't care as long as they don't move next door. Kind of like the mayor in Seattle, right? She was all for Chaz and Chapistan, right? Until they went to her house and we got to close this down. Well, wait a minute. You're okay when they were not in your front yard, but now that they're in your front yard, now you care. All right. So just back to this whole thing. So same thing with my friend, right? I said, so tell me, and we end up with nothing, right? There's nothing. Yeah. Well, he was a Russian spy. No, he wasn't. Never was. You're going to tell me that hundreds and hundreds of people were looking for anything to show that he was a Russian spy, and they've come up with nothing in 3.5 years? As a matter of fact, what we've learned is that they illegally spied on him, and they also used false documents that were created and paid for by the DNC, the Clintons, and used by Obama to spy on the Trump administration. You're talking about those documents, right? It's just he's not a spy, and they even tried to lie about it, and they got caught, and still nothing happened. So that's not true. So give me something else. What else has he done that makes him dangerous? Well, the China deal. How's the China deal? They've owed us and taken millions and billions and billions of dollars and much of our ideas and our secrets and used them against us for years up until Trump. Now, again, they're still doing some of that, but it's been greatly reduced. And now they're paying us money as opposed to not paying us money. So I want to know how you think that's destroying our country in regard to China. How Trump is destroying our country because we're getting money. Is that what you're saying? That we're receiving money from China and the trade is now a little bit more balanced than it was before? That's destroying. I'm not sure. Explain to me how that. Well, you got that he reversed his ideas on the WHO. Okay, listen, that's stupid because if you listen to the WHO, they just said that it's not transmittable. They said that COVID-19 is not transmittable. Now they could be right, and they're probably right. But now, they went over here saying that it's the most dangerous thing we could ever have, and now they're saying that it's not as dangerous as we thought. And actually, the pandemic is they can't call it a pandemic anymore because it's not killing people at a rate that it should to be able to be calling it a pandemic. That actually, literally, they actually should not be calling it a pandemic anymore because it's not killing the number of people that it requires for that to be happening. And so that's a whole another story that we'll probably get into later. I had a great discussion with a mom at probably shouldn't say where, I don't know, just in case. So I was having a great discussion with a mom who's in the medical field. I believe she's a nurse, and we were talking about opening schools. And she's going, I don't know why they're not opening schools. They're saying all this stuff, but I'm in the medical field, and none of the things that they're saying are happening. That's not what it is. We have more people. We're full, not because of COVID-19. We're full because all the people that weren't in the doctor's office, not having treatment, not ending up in the hospital, are now in those beds in the hospital. And now we're back to where we were. We're at 90%. Hospitals are always at 90%. It's constant. And now add a couple COVID-19s, and now you're at 92%. Oh, we're getting full because of COVID. No, you're full because you're always full. Hospitals are always jam-packed. Have you ever taken one of your kids to the emergency room prior to COVID-19? And how long do you have to wait to get the arm x-ray? How long do you have to wait? I had to wait up to 4 hours to get an x-ray. I could ask my kids. We sat there for hours pre-COVID-19 because it's too full. It's always too full. it is. So the discussion was, she's, I'm in the field. I know it's not happening, and I know what's going on, and I want them to open up schools 5 days a week, no masks. Let's go. It's not killing children. Are they getting sick? Yes, but they're getting sick from the flu. They're getting sick from bronchitis. They're getting sick from cancer. They're dying in their car on the way. They're committing suicide. Open up the schools. It's just we live in an imperfect world that things happen. And this is in this discussion that I had with this nurse, and it was great. It was a great conversation. Once she found out about what I do and about my show, she goes, "Oh, thank God I could." She was like, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to get canceled. I didn't want to get kicked in the face. So it's just crazy. All right, it's exhausting trying to reason with someone whose opinions are based on what they hear from mainstream media. I know, I'm not as exhausted as I probably used to be. But I love to say it. And again, they're very simple questions. All right, tell me about that. What you're saying about the presidency and this administration. Tell me where you saw that happen. Well, that's what they said on the news. I heard. I mean, they say it all the time. He's racist. Yeah, they do say it all the time. But I want you to understand that he's done more for the Black community, Mexican community. Today, he just had a great press conference with the Mexican community. Right, some of the programs he's putting in place and helping, and they're donating money. You have Mexican grocery stores in the United States that are now donating produce all over the United States. They're great companies here in the country of the United States of America, Mexican heritage-run companies. He's there. That's that one hell of a racist, right? He invites a whole bunch of Mexicans that are citizens of our United States to the White House, and he's racist. Right, we had a whole bunch of Black leaders in the White House not too long ago, and he's saying, "How can I help you? What is it you need from me?" Right? You got historically Black universities and colleges, right, getting more money than they ever got under Obama. With Obama, they had to go beg for the money every year. With Trump, they just get more money, and that every year that he's been in charge of their money, it's been increased every year. And they've not had to ask for it. He invites them down just so they can enjoy the fact that he's doing a great job for historically Black universities and colleges. That's just one program, right? There's a number of other programs that you will never hear about what he's doing in the Black community and trying, right? And some of them are being blocked by who? The Democrats. He wants to do more, and that's being blocked by the people who are saying he's racist. The craziest thing in the world. I could go on and don't comment anymore. No, I'm kidding you. I want you to comment a lot. If you're watching the replay, please comment. If you're watching, please subscribe. If you're watching, please share. This is also on another Facebook channel called the Facebook Live TV Show or the FB Live TV Show. Just do a search for it. That'd be great if you went over there and subscribed. If you go to YouTube, you'll find my channel on YouTube. And just subscribe and like. It's just I've got to get it back out there again. Whoever was on Twitter, you got somebody watching. Oh, I love that. Birdman returns, divisive rhetoric. Probably talking about me, but I do like your little icon there. That's actually pretty cool. I'm divisive. Is that? Oh, wait a minute. I'm the one divisive. And that's the funniest thing. And I'm going to leave this up for a second. And I knew I was going to sign off. I was going to try, but this is the thing. This is the greatest thing, is that they use the words they use identifies what it is they are doing always, right? If they are saying you're racist, they clearly know that they're being racist. They clearly know that what they're doing in these Black communities is horrific. It's criminal what the Democrats are doing in Chicago, in Minneapolis, in Atlanta, in New York, in Seattle. It's criminal. Every one of those mayors and governors that are allowing these things should be arrested. They should be arrested for conspiracy to commit murder, because that is what they do. The mayor in Seattle is the easiest one, I think, because she supported it, right? She told police not to go into that community, and there were 2 people that were killed in what's it called again? Chapistan, right? She's the one who kept the police from going in. There was no, I mean, if somebody was dying in your house and somebody inside the house called for the police and the fire department to come and rescue that person who was dying in the house, and you block them from getting in, you would be arrested. We've seen parents get arrested and convicted for not giving care to their children when their children were dying. Why is that different from a mayor keeping the police and the fire department from going into Chaz to save lives. It was under her leadership, right? She wanted that to stay. She wanted that to occur. She gave them barriers so they could keep from people getting in, from law enforcement, from fire trucks. All of that led to the death of 2 people. Her decision, her desire to not have law enforcement come in there, to abandon the police station that was in that community. The police had to abandon that police station. 2 people died. There's no difference between the mayor doing what she did in Seattle in relationship to those 2 people dying, then parents not allowing their children to be saved by blocking law enforcement or paramedics to take care of a dying child inside of a home, or taking them to get treatment when they know that they're dying. Right, but you got these crazy, religious people that do have these stupid ideas, right? And they block. We see them going to jail all the time. We see them being convicted all the time. This mayor's Lightfoot is no different either. Mayor Lightfoot is a complete. She's killed hundreds and hundreds of people. You got Cuomo, who's killed thousands, not hundreds, thousands of senior citizens by his decision making, by doing what he did. He purposefully, in other words, on purpose, sent COVID-19 infected patients into nursing homes, knowing that they were the most vulnerable and would die. Did that on purpose. He didn't do it by accident. He did it on purpose. And yet nobody is seeking any criminal charge. Well, why? What's not happening? That's one of the other issues. And why is what I'm saying divisive rhetoric? It is the truth. So when you're calling us racist, when you're calling me divisive, I'm not. I'm saying let's join together as Americans, get rid of these morons. Black Lives Matter is a communist Marxist group trying to destroy the United States of America, destroying law enforcement. That is not divisive rhetoric. That is the truth. Destroying law enforcement, defunding law enforcement, is going to kill people. People are going to die. More people are going to die. Not just are going to. More people are going to die. It is not divisive. I'm trying to bring all this discussion is trying to bring America back to where it was before. A country that takes care of people, has always taken care of people. It takes care of people all over the world. I love having that up there because this is the craziest thing. That's the thought. That when you are for America, when you are for a country that gives more to people around the world than any other country, when you have a country that has one of the most well-trained law enforcement in the world, that investigates some incredibly difficult crimes, that saves lives, that on their own does incredible things. As president of the Orange County Police Canine Association, my organization gave hundreds of thousands of dollars throughout the years to children in oncology units, gifts during Christmas time. That wasn't part of our job. It was something that we did on our own. On our days off, we raised money because we knew we had the uniforms, the dogs, the ability to raise money to then turn around and give that money to children that were dying of cancer. Right? We are an incredible. I'm not saying that I'm saying I was a part of an organization that's what law enforcement is. We're not divisive. And we never have. Americans have not been divided. Do we have bad people? Yes, we're human beings. They're somehow asking for law enforcement to be all, you could only hire somebody who's Jesus Christ to be a police officer. Is that ever going to happen? Absolutely not. Are we going to have people that are going to, another cop down the road somewhere kill somebody that's either black, Mexican, or white on purpose because he's an idiot? Yes. None of this. The statues, pulling down Mount Rushmore, pulling down the Statue of Liberty, none of those things will change, will make any of us perfect, will not create Jesus Christ-like law enforcement that never makes a mistake. We'll never create a president that, with his ego and stuff, it just pisses people off, but yet gets a lot of stuff done, right? None of that will change by everything that's being on. I am not being divisive. You can make it. You can claim it all you want. And I love that I'm going to keep it up there. But That is not divisive rhetoric. This is trying to get people to wake up and to start talking. I appreciate Amy and Carol all talking. Birdman returns. I appreciate you talking and been putting in a comment. Bye, Carol. Cuomo should be in prison. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. Thank God he's calling out the evil WHO. Yeah, the WHO. All right, I'm going to start again. I'm not going to start. All right, my friends, I appreciate it. Make sure I'm going to put up these banners really quick one more time. So if you want to learn how to do live streaming, go to joinmelive.live. Joinmelive.live. I have a training program to teach you how to do live, and you're going to be using GetStreamLive. You're going to StreamYard. Sorry, you're going to get StreamYard. Go there. Go to www.getstreamyard.live. Happy Coffee, the greatest coffee, and some of the other drinks. They also have chai tea, and they have Zest. It's a great combination. I've lost. I think I'm up to 11 pounds now. I should have checked today, but yesterday I was at 11 pounds. So I should still, the only reason I should, because I didn't check today. You shouldn't check your weight every day, by the way, but I am, because I'm just wanting to see the progress that I'm making from today to day. After 4th of July, I gained 2 pounds. So it kind of delayed everything. And then today's CBD oil for great CBD oil, todayscbdoil.com. And then all the other wellness products at todaysviseo.com. Todaysviseo.com. Great wellness products. One of the top 50 healthcare companies in the world. Great vitamins and skin care. Just go there, visit it, check it out. It'll be well worth it, and get some of that stuff. All right, that is it. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you everybody for watching. And I understand those of you that don't comment. I understand what the deal is. I do understand completely. But at some point, it would be fantastic if many of you began to speak out and stop being silent. The silence is not going to help us. Not at all. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.